you basically you are weak, like just like everyone is weak. Like no one is born like, oh, I'm so strong. Everyone
at like Krav?
Yeah.
Okay.
So with Krav, you're learning how to like get hit. You're getting comfortable with like when people like if someone is grabbing you.
Different angles.
More the aggression.
Yeah.
So getting used to being like punch, hit, scratch, and you're learning how to quickly end a fight.
Yeah.
So like everyone's doing like the boxing training, all that's BS. Like you're not going to box with someone. Like if you and I get into a fight, like right now, if we're getting into an argument, like my hand being here is bad for you.
Oh, terrible.
So you start learning how not to let people into your space. And if there's a situation, you know how to like defend yourself and get out.
Yep.
That was one of the biggest things that Reginald was always teaching us. It's like, you're not looking for a fight. You're looking to end the fight and leave because you don't want any trouble.
Makes sense.
And dude, there is a difference. You feel different around other men when you know how to fight.
Yep.
And then you feel that there is not as many chances for you to get into a fight because you're going to know how to handle yourself. You're going to see.
There's a certain energy that people put out when they want to fight.
And people don't mess with you.
They're not right, but and there's something about it. I think it's the two is the blue over there. You know, it's just something about when you know how to fight. You don't want to fight.
Going left-handed here.
That's it. Oh. All right, so we're talking about the first job before. What was the first job when you got to the U.S. though?
First job when I got to the U.S.
Was it in film or was it?
Yeah, in the U.S. was easy because I just started making videos. So my first video that I made, I saw this contest.
Scratch.
I see this contest on YouTube for Kia Motors. And I'm like, I'm gonna make the video for the car company.
Okay.
So my first video in America, I made a music video for a Kia competition.
Okay.
And I won the whole thing, and I got a free car.
You got a car?
They gave me a Kia. My
No shit.
first ever video in America.
Your first video in America, and you won a car.
Brand new, like one of those Kia Souls that they had the commercials with the hamsters and stuff. I got one of those.
You still have it?
I lost it.
You lost it?
In
How do
LA.
you lose a car?
I have my other car.
Do you have a gambling problem that we need to know about?
I had like 2 or 3 different cars, and I had the Kia parked outside of a building in LA. In LA, like you can be homeless and live outside, and you're good.
Yeah.
If you park your car over 72 hours in a certain place, they take the car. So I was like moving from one building to another, and I wasn't really using that car, so I forgot that I had it parked there.
That's the American dream. Oh, I forgot I had a car. Right. All right, so then what?
So then they...
Oh, I just completely missed this. All right, so scratching. All right, so you leave the car there.
They took it. I didn't realize for like a month or 2 that the car was gone. And then they wanted all this money to give me the car back. They put it on auction. By the time I realized they had already sold the car. And like when I was about to move to Texas, I'm like checking on to see where the car was. And it's like, so.
Wow.
Gone.
All right, your shot. I think we're at
number 3.
Yep. Okay, we got a little competition now.
So what do you think is going to be the hardest thing with the podcast and the show and all that?
Just in general? The most challenging thing is the competition of the other content that's out there. But you were saying before, right now we're competing with massive teams.
Yes.
Putting together that kind of content.
You are, but at the same time, you have to not see those people as competition.
Yeah.
And the sooner you can see them as collaborators and you find ways to make videos with them, and also find a way to make content that is similar to their content, because it works different. Like the algorithm is not thinking you or you. It's the algorithm is thinking you are like this. So I want this plus this. So the more videos there are about podcasts about men trying to figure out their life, the better, because that audience is going to interject with this audience.
Right.
And think about it, you don't watch one single show.
No.
You don't listen to one single person.
Yep.
You have like a group, an audience of, I like this, and I like this guy, and I like this guy over here. So for example, if you start now, you launch your podcast, and you start going on 50 other podcasts, that is going to help you.
Yep.
Not because you're competing, but because you are mixing audiences and connecting one audience with the other.
Yeah. No, listen, it makes sense. I think you're up here with the number 4. And look, all right. You said you didn't play much.
Well, I don't know the rules of the game, but I know how to hit.
All right. But that's the number 9 you just hit.
Oh, I thought it was the 6.
No, 6
This
is
is
the green
confusing for me.
6 is the green one. So, that's one of the things that, that we're thinking about right now as far as, just like you were saying, collaborating. Mm-hmm. That's why some of the things that we talk about, where you say, look, what is Modern Day Don? And the thing that we always say is, look, Modern Day Don's a channel where we have conversations, collaborations, and adventures, right, to guide men to and through modern day manhood. So the fact that you just said collaborations makes us feel like we're on the right track, right? Because there's a lot of great people out there that are doing the same things. Now, I'm very competitive by nature. You might be the same, but you got to figure out who you're competing with, right?
Yes.
Pastor Bet David has a great book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely.
That book
Right?
is so good.
That's a
dude.
great book.
Yeah, the thing is that you shouldn't see it as competition or enemies. They're actually vehicles. I think we're trying to think about algorithm the same way that a human brains work, but an algorithm doesn't work like that. So a lot of things are going to be counterintuitive. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm competing with this guy, don't think that way. If you want to win, you need to think about how can I have that guy feed into my pool of my audience. So the audience is the same. You're just giving better content, but you want to do it in connection to those people, not in isolation to those people.
Right.
And you don't want to be all that different. You don't want to be all that unique. And that sounds weird. That sounds very counterintuitive. But you're trying to feed the algorithm something that seems similar to the audience and the videos that they have already served.
That makes sense.
That way the algorithm knows where to put you.
Yep. All right, let's see if we can clean this up right now. You keep thinking that's the 6, I think.
I do. I just hit it again thinking that it was the one that I was supposed to hit.
I don't think I got anything with this guy. Should I go behind the back? Let's go
Let's
crazy
see it.
behind the back. All right, set you up nice. 2 shots left. So what spots you been to in Dallas yet? You been to any of the good spots? You been down to the Mexican?
Mexican, I went there the other night.
How was that?
It was very interesting. It feels like LA.
Uh-huh.
It has that LA vibe. So that place
Completely.
was interesting. Dallas is a very interesting city. It feels big enough to be like a nice city. Like I don't feel like I'm in a small town. But at the same time, it feels like there's no people here.
Ooh.
It doesn't feel crowded like
Yeah.
LA or New York. So I do feel like there's a lot of potential, and it's a beautiful city as well. I'm honestly surprised in a good way.
Yeah.
That's an easy shot.
All right, let's see. I missed it on purpose.
Good. So I was asking you,
I had to let the guest win.
have you acted before?
No.
Man, you should have.
Why do you say that?
'Cause you're a handsome-looking guy.
Thank you, Axel.
We didn't get into the whole ladies talk.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
we got to talk
podcast.
relationships.
Yeah.
Oh,
I bet you have some stories.
I got some stories. There's some wisdom that I picked up along the way. Yeah. There's definitely a little something there that I can definitely talk about. Let's see.
What do you think is the first thing you wish you knew about women? That now you know.
Oh,
that you
man.
wish you had known, like
That
when you were
is
a
such
teenager.
a good question. That's such a good question. The biggest thing that I wish I knew about women now, or that I wish I knew then, that I know now, is understanding female nature. And understanding that everything you and I and every man thinks about life and reality is completely different in the way a woman sees the world. That's it. It's completely 100% taking the time to study female nature. It is nothing, it's not an us versus them, it's a cat versus dog conversation. And we're dogs. You know what? We're loyal, we'll fight to the death. Everything to us makes sense. If we're happy to see you, you'll know it. If we're not happy to see you, you'll know it. Right? So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's slightly different for any of the cat owners that are watching this right now. Anyone that owns a cat is going to know that it's slightly different. So by far, the biggest thing that I wish I knew when I was younger was just taking the time to understand female nature. Not to decipher it, not to change it, to understand it. Because once you start to understand, you know, you can't get on the Monopoly board and try and play the game of Monopoly like it's checkers. It's not the game.
Did you ever get your heart broken?
Did I ever get my heart broken? Yeah, we all have. We all have.
How was that? How were you able to get over it?
Part of it was siphoning that energy to other things, and siphoning that emotion to other things, because that's what it does. It creates emotion, creates a fire in your belly, right? Everything is just emotion based, but that emotion needs to be the fuel in the tank for something else. So for me, it was all about using that fuel and putting it in the tank to where you want it to go. Because a lot of the way I view it is that sometimes those things that happen to us are fuel. So whenever anyone comes to me and says, well, this happened to me, I just say one word, fuel. They look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, fuel. What do you mean fuel? Fuel. Put it in the tank. Well, no, fuel. Put it in the tank. But what do you mean put it in the tank? Put it in the tank. Where are you going? Put it in the tank. You should be happy that just happened to you. Put it in the tank. You wouldn't be the man you are today if not for the fuel you had of growing up. It is what it is. Being at a place where you're having shoes made because you didn't have shoes. Right now, we got kids out there with 50 pairs and they're crying because they don't have the new Jordan retro release. Perspective. So a lot of it has to do with perspective and fuel. So we've all gone through that heartbreak. But the biggest thing for young men to really think about is study female nature. That's all it comes down to in SNL, right? So status, network, and looks plays a big part in dating and mating. But good to see you, my friend.
You beat my ass.
You know what?
I thought you were gonna let
Next
me
time.
win.
Competition, healthy competition,
I like
makes
it.
us stronger when we fight things together.
I like it.